Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Bivouac series podcast. My name is Dalibor and I have with me a very, very interesting person, the organizer of the Dinaric Rally in Croatia and a fellow rally enthusiast, Perica Matijevic. So sit back, have a cup of coffee and enjoy. Hi Perica and welcome. Could you please introduce yourself a bit and tell us what you do every day and maybe what's filling your life these days other than motorcycles and rally?
Hey, Dalgo, nice to meet you. First of all, I think that this idea of yours of how we call it stories from Bivouac and interviewing of people from rally world is actually great. I did see like few of them, but in general, I think that a lot of people are actually missing your approach. I saw your video with Tobias before, and I myself I've heard some really important and interesting introspections from Tobias. I will learn something on the way about him and about motorbikes and everything. So I would really like to encourage you to continue with this. I believe your idea in general is really good. And for me, these days, I'm preparing for different events for this year, Dinaric, but also I also forgot how many of them we have now, but it is I think five altogether. So a lot of work, and it already started. So I'm trying to prepare everything. So it will be like before, like last 3 years. Mostly all my time I'm spending on preparing of the rally, and now it will be more different events, and that's it. There's not that many free times in my life anymore.
Okay. And what was your first contact with rally? Can you tell us a little bit about how it came to be and how that evolved into you organizing a rally on your own?
For me, I believe it is similar like for many riders. I started with off-roading. Actually, I was never into the road riding. My idea about riding a motorbike came while we were mountaineering. Actually, we were going to explore some canyon, some deep canyon in Bosnia. I remember we had some like uh, some small book from the expedition from maybe even 40 years before, and that was the only information we had about the canyon, except like general one that you can get from the locals. So we went there, and we spent like quite a lot of times driving the car over the mountain, and then I realized this is impossible to see neither with car because you can't go around off road. Bicycle would be probably impossible because it is quite hard terrain. So it came to my mind, like in my 20 something, that I should buy a bike, a motorbike. And then I don't know how many years later I actually decided to buy it. And I remember I went to I was too afraid to go and ride the bike myself on the road. So I went to pick it up with the van. I came back to my home. I bought the helmet on the road, because I didn't have anything. And then I went to the nearest mountain. It was snow, and it was my first experience with the motorbikes. And I realized I fell down like many times. It was Yamaha, by the way, Yamaha 660. I fell down like I don't know how many times, and then I realized I need some school, something, some training for myself because I was obviously shit in off roading. I thought I would be better.
When was this approximately? Which year?
Poof, let me think. I would say 15 or 16 years ago, something like that. 10th, I think
Okay.
2010 or maybe 11. It would be 11, I believe.
Mhm.
So that was my first contact with literally with the bike, except for the driving license school. But
Mhm.
I realized I need the training, some sort of training. So I got back to my home. It was quite freezing outside. I spent the night trying to find some training. At that time, it was literally only BMW trainings that I realized out of photos and videos. It's not for me. It was too heavy bikes, and nobody is people are there riding even, you know, worse than me. So I was trying to find somebody, you know, to help me. I had few friends that were riding the bike off road, and it started like that. But they were literally killing me, you know, because they were far away from myself, and they had small bikes and so on and so on. So I was like, why nobody in Croatia is doing trainings? But then I left it, you know. Then I realized that nobody in Croatia is actually doing neither the tours, because the next thing was I supposed to go for some sort of tour and learn on the way from some good guide. But it was literally nobody is doing that. And then idea came to my mind that I maybe I could do the tours. I would find the guide, I would organize everything and so on. But I also left it, you know, because I had other things to do. Then I don't know how many, 5 or 6 years later, I actually got into the off-roading. I got some skills, and I felt that I could actually guide somebody. So I started like me guiding other people, and then finally I realized maybe I would like to race, you know, maybe that would be interesting to race. And also I realized when I started to guide other people, I started to ride a lot of my to guide a lot of my friends. So we did some tours around, and it was always me organizing everything. And I kind of got tired, and I was like, it must be quite nice to be guided by somebody, you know, especially your friends, somebody else prepare everything and so on and so on. And that's how I actually came to the first time I came to road books and rally and everything. Since I'm designer, first time I saw the road book, I thought this must be, you know, just the best feeling ever to ride following these signs. It is fun itself, you know. I wanted to do it just because of the road book, just because of all these small,
Yeah.
like, really, how to say, that for me as a designer, as a visual, let's say, guy with actually a lot of experience, because that was my profession at the time. It was just beautiful to ride on this paper thing. And that's how I actually how idea came to my mind. But it was, again, I left it because there was no release around. And then
Mm.
maybe even 10 years later or something, friend, I met the friend, really good friend. He was into the off-roading for years, and he told me that he and some other guys were like about to organize the rally in Croatia. I was so happy that so this is obviously my best chance to ride the rally. And I was talking about him about the details. He told me everything, and I was like waiting for things to happen. Then I believe like maybe twice I called him or we met, and I was asking him about, but he was telling me how it, you know, develops, and it ended that something went wrong and they left all idea. So when we met again, he told me that idea is, you know, something went wrong, and we split. You know, I went my home, and on the way home, I was like, why wouldn't I try to do something, you know, with organizing the rally? Why wouldn't him and I, because he has a lot of experience, and I as a designer, like it was okay. Let's try to do something. I got home. I sat on the laptop, and I was literally googling organizing of the rally. Obviously I got a lot of, you know, protesting and things like that. I got everything else, all the information about everything else, but about the rally. Then I was like, Croatians that rode the rally, so I wanted to meet somebody so he can tell me anything about the rally. Then obviously Dakar came out. I knew Dakar from before. Then I was trying to read the regulations. I understood nothing and so on. So I spent like a lot of time just to try to understand what would be the first step. Then I called the friend Bero. He actually he was in our crew for, he's still there somewhere there, you know. We actually started organizing everything together, and I told him, why shouldn't we organize a rally? And first reaction was laughing and like, what we know about the organizing rally. And I was like, exactly, you know, no, we don't know, but nobody else obviously knows, because somebody would organize rally in these mountains. We both know, you know, this is just beautiful place to organize something like that. And then maybe a year later, COVID started. Actually, it was like about to start, and I had a lot of time, and that's how everything. I thought it would be like few months, and that's it. And I took this time to try to actually organize it, and it was no roadbooks in the beginning.
Okay.
I thought maybe I could prepare everything, but then I realized it is COVID. Nobody would come. Nobody. It would be people from Croatia. So it was, let's start with roadbooks. But then Austrians came, and they knew how it will go, but they started to, they knew their job, let's say. So they put the bug in my ear, and they were, why didn't you prepare the roadbooks? Then Johannes, now a friend of mine, he told me he will help me for the next year, and he even sent me the examples of his roadbooks. He took the GPS tracker, he made some roadbooks. But at that time, when he sent me, I was always working on my roadbooks, and that's how actually it started. So it was naive idea about something. Let's try to do something. Then after first year, actually, we realized that we actually did something good. People were so happy with the tracks, and Croatia, and many people from Croatia, actually all the people from Croatia were telling me we didn't have idea that we have these beautiful mountains, that it is possible to ride. There are all the paths over the mountains, and we are passing with this main road for I don't know 25 years. I never even tried to go to the mountain because I thought it is impossible. I didn't know that there is something behind and things like that. So I really realized that we are actually doing something good, and it was from that moment it was okay. Now we need to do
Okay.
something. This was a
All right. Many
long story.
questions from what you said. So you said you had a lot of experience before. What was your profession, or what is your profession?
That's the hardest
What do you
question
do
you can
for
ask me,
income
actually,
these
because
days?
I'm changing my professions. Before this, this is something that caught me quite strong, let's say. But I was, maybe it sounds a little bit silly, but I was literally changing the profession the moment when I learned how to do what I'm just doing. So I'm the designer all the time. That's my, let's say, backup job that I can always do. If something go wrong with my new idea,
Designer of what?
designer of like mostly graphic design, but for the last 10 or something
Uh-huh.
years, I turned to web design. Like I'm the guy that needs to have these challenges, and as soon as I feel safe and that I know what I'm doing, I change it to something that I have no idea about. So that's how I started with the web
Yeah, I
programming.
know the feeling.
I started from graphic design. I decided to go for Flash, Adobe Flash at that moment because I wanted to do animation. Then I realized it is actually action script. It is programming. Then literally sat on my computer and started to learn programming. I was really bad in math in my school, and it was the first time that I started to learn actually basic of mathematics, and things like that. But within six months, I made few web pages. That one is still live, and that was my profession. That was my job for 4 years, like programming of website in Flash. And then Flash died, and I switched to, honestly, I don't know what. But yeah, that the design would be my main profession, and web design now. Not programming, because I'm not programmer, I'm not developer, but I do know CSS, HTML, and a few more
Okay.
things. So I'm one man
Okay.
one man band
So
in that way.
do you still do that as a main source of income, or organizing the rally feeds you as well?
I actually do that for few projects, for few people, and it is literally always something that excites me. Something that I would like to do with that websites. Either I'm helping to somebody that I really need, that I really want to help, or maybe I'm doing something that will help me with the organizing of these. motorcycle off-roading events. For example, just for example, now I'm working on two websites. One is from the mother of a friend of mine that's helping me in the Dinaric for years now, and she's how we call it, masseer, or what was the she does massage, which is also good for my back.
Yeah.
So it is kind of, I'm helping her, she's helping me, and a friend of mine is actually volunteering all the time. Another web is for the restaurant and hotel and even hunting ground where we have a bivouac now, Shuki's Place. Many people know Shuki's Place. I realized that they will never get the website that they need actually, and also I realized that for our let's say clients or for the riders, they need to book the restaurant, they need to book the hotel, they need to book the camping
Mhm.
ground there, and there is no way except the phone and the paper, and then they literally get to the hotel and nobody knows that they reserved. So I decided to do the website for them to fix the booking, to do everything properly, so for the future somebody, it would be probably within next, I don't know, few weeks, you could actually go and book your room there, and then we have one problem less with or we'll save a lot. I will save a lot of time explaining people how to book at Shookies, and that's it. So I'm doing it. I like it, but it is literally always because I need it. For it is like
Mhm.
in the background. I need that
So it
website.
definitely sounds like the yeah, sounds like the rally is like the sun around which everything revolves. That
You just
it is
can
the center
believe.
of your life, and
Yeah, I can believe.
yeah.
Not, I wouldn't say really, but let's say off-road motorcycling. It is just unbelievable how complex that field is from the perspective of somebody that is organizing the rally. Believe me. Let's say that I have
Okay.
more than 100 something meetings through the year just to fix one rally, and that would be like.
Mhm.
Uh, Forestry, for example, in Croatia, or nature park. I know. I believe that. No, I believe that. I'm million% sure that I know the law. For example, on nature preservance. The law. I know it better than many of the let's say many people in charge of protecting of the nature. It is quite often that I come to the meeting and that I'm actually explaining to the guys there that the law goes like this and you're supposed to do this, because it says in your documents, in your official documents, it says that you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to, I don't know, protect the people, you need to have rangers there, this road is free to go, this is the closest one. Why do you letting people to go there? And it is literally for in the beginning when I was asking for the permits for some area, it was literally I met the people that they were asking me, why do you asking for the permits? Because I told them, because I need them. You don't need. Man, I do need. You need to give me the permit, because if you don't, I'm breaking the law. And it was literally like that. So I told them that they need to give me the permits and that I need to ask them the permit. And it was in the beginning, it was quite a lot of refusing of anything, because if they give me the permit, then they are responsible. This way, I'm breaking the law. They can always say I never gave him the permit and things like that. So it is that is just one simple thing situation, but it is so much complex. How many different fields, different areas you need to know something about or get into, like pretty much deep into, just to organize one simple rally. I believe it is. Maybe I'm wrong. I would say it is at least a bit easier to organize rally. Let's say in Morocco. I know quite a lot of Morocco.
Mhm.
I've been there many times. It is still, permits. If you want to go do it legally, it is surely complex. But in Croatia, with our how to say, over regulated country, everything is regulated and not many things are properly uh, taught, let's say. It is literally copying pasting some laws from let's say Italy or European countries, and without understanding the law, and without applying it to this area, to this country, to these people in the end. So quite often you have some completely crazy law that helps nothing, and you need even sometimes we even need to change the law. It happened actually. It happened that in the first year, it was literally first year for safety wise, law said that we need to have. It was actually quite explicitly written that we must to have Croatian, how call it, like first aid, like I don't know how call it, like let's say like official medics. You need to
Emergency service. Yeah.
emergency service, yeah. But it was in the law. It was literally limited that we need to call them, we need to invite them and pay to them some amount that was actually quite high. And it was like, in the first place, we don't have enough money to have these people to pay them this much. And then we went to check the law, and it ended that it is like, I don't know what's the right name in English, but they were not allowed to set it up like that. It was literally they didn't have so competition law. You have competition law,
Mhm.
and by the competition law, you need to have it is open market. It is democracy and economy. Things you can't have only one, and especially not official like uh, governmental one service that is offering these services, and me as organizer I need to buy the services from them, so they must have more of them. It was literally 20 years after the law, after that law was official. I know at least 20 people that were organizing different races and everything, and they were doing by the law, and law is
Yeah.
wrong. It was literally my
So now
life.
you have and now you have private emergency services
Yeah, we
like
had we
private.
did it. We did it different. We did it completely different because I have quite a lot of experience in Croatian Mountain Rescue Service. So I know many friends of mine are medics actually. So we did it our way, We and
Okay.
they told us on in the end when they realized what happened. They told us, okay, you can do it your way. And from that point now until now, we are doing it our way. It is in the end that we
Perfect.
have we have better safety, much better than if we're doing it, let's say legally or by the book. And they change it. They literally change it in the so things like that. Yeah, quite
Yeah.
complex.
So how is the event viewed nowadays in your region? Do the officials support you? Is it easier to get the approvals to use the roads?
Yeah, it definitely is. If nothing else, now we know what we have to ask, and from whom and how do we do it, and they know that we will ask them, and they're prepared. So if something changed in the law, it happened, something changed on the way we adapt. So altogether, that's quite good thing that you know what's your obligation, how to do it, and then since we are doing it really nicely in different ways, starting from preservance of the nature, and protection, and riders are really respecting the regulations. So we literally never had any issues. We never did anything wrong. So, and it would be fifth year now, So wherever we come, people that know us, that know us, or not people, but let's say nature parks, we never had any problems with them. Especially now, we don't have any. We got permits, let's say by like instantly. But the biggest problem is that biggest problem, like biggest step we need to do is, and that will come with years, I believe, is that we need to spread awareness among general public, in Croatia, because we never had a budget, to spend on marketing or on promotion of the generic in that huge segment, let's say, of people. So everything we did so far is actually to making the best event possible in a sport in a sporting way, and I believe that we did amazing. But then nobody knows about us, and nobody knows what we actually are doing. So quite often, especially now when we got a bit, let's say, many more people know about more general public knows about us, or they meet us somewhere in the mountains, then we have situation that then instantly they react like you are those crazy guys on motorbikes or quads, and you are destroying nature. And they are sending us emails, or they are even sending email to the nature parks asking them, why did you let them to destroy our beautiful mountains and everything. So we need to explain quite a lot. So our biggest next step in a way of promotion is actually to give the idea about what we do to the people before they ask. We need to give them the answers before they ask,
Yeah.
so that we save nervous to them and us and everybody else. So in general, whoever knows us, they like us. But those people that are thinking they know us, and they know us only about only by the, how they call it, aggressive, not aggressive riding, not aggressive riders, but aggressive vehicles. They know that even vehicles are aggressive some way. So
Yeah.
they they are making us a problem. So we need to fix this.
I was at a race last year where it was held in a natural reservation, and I was amazed that actually they have a motocross track there all year long, and they move it from place to place so that it covers the whole area, and it actually enables the rare plants to grow there because it freshens up the ground and gets it run over. So
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Look,
This
before
is
we,
this is
sorry, say
this is
say.
an aspect that I would never have thought of, that actually riding in a natural reservation would help the environment in this way.
Look, it is true that not many people are thinking about anything else except for that special things they are interested in. So you have the situation that riders are idiots. You know them. I'm sure that you know them. Everybody knows those riders that are selfish and that are riding just because they like it, and they don't care about, not I wouldn't say nature, but about the people. I don't think that we can make a big harm to the nature, honestly. And if we do this, let's say in national park, what's the difference between riding the enduro in the national park or getting there with a bus? Bus is spending 25, 30 liters of gasoline, and it goes like 100-meter far from the place when you are riding your motorbike. Not that your guesses from the motorbike are any worse than those from the cars or bus. So this argument is stupid, like in the very beginning. It just makes no sense to say that enduro riders are destroying nature by the gas. Sound is another thing. I do agree that I hate to be in the nature, in the mountains, and hearing somebody with a loud exhaust and everything. It is just stupid things to do. So if you go with motorbike there, you're supposed to think about this. You're supposed to put yourself in the way, in a place of some, let's say, guy that is having maybe healthy problems, and he's going to the nature, and he wants to be in peace. Not that he
In
has
peace and quiet.
right to be there and you don't have, but just respect. It is all mountains rule that everybody who goes to mountains supposed to know. And there are many other things. But on the other side, you have these people that my friend actually described like the best I ever heard. He told that they got the suggestion from the doctor to go for the in the nature because of weak nerves. They have problems with the nerves, and they came to the nature because they're in the beginning, they don't have, they're not healthy. So what can you expect from those people? They would be fighting with anything, with I don't know, with a wild boar or whatever that they meet. They will fight with him because nerves are already went bad. But on the other side, not many of, let's say, people that don't like us were, how to say interested in the subject enough to do the research. So in the beginning, we know better than them. We know what is the problem with the enduro riding or off-road riding, We know them. We know this better than them. I would never start the Dinaric if I wouldn't go for the research to really understand what is the biggest harm we can do. For example, nobody would ever tell you that if you take your motorbike, if you bring it here from Australia, for example, and you didn't wash the tires, you'll probably bring at least 10 invasive species like some herbs, some plants, something, and it can really be a big disaster. Nobody would ever check your tires on the border. Maybe you will bring them from Czech Republic or something. Who knows? You don't
Yeah.
know. Policemen surely don't know, but somebody that is actually into the nature preservance would think about this. Not you and me, but obviously I'm thinking about this also. So I'm asking people to do to check the tires, to clean them, to change them, whatever. It is. I wouldn't say that this is a big problem, but if you really care about nature, then do your job. Then explore. And
Yeah.
yeah, in general, I believe that we are prepared really well enough, and we really care about the nature. Nobody can enter the race or any other event that we do with some broken bike that is leaking oil all around. It is just like that. And compare that with all the buses, or even old 4x4 vehicle that, for example, hunters are using in the mountains. Just compare our bikes, how well they are prepared, they are registered, and everything else with some. And in the end, everything we do, at least what we do, it is just like that. It is always more rally style of riding than, for example, enduro or hard enduro. It is always done on some sort of path, of road or of something. So for the most of time, we are in regular roads. You can
Yeah.
apply regular, regulations to us. You can tell us that or blame us that we are riding the off road. So altogether, we are really like perfectly clean in every way. We don't break law at any means. But
Sounds like a very healthy approach. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we are
Okay.
trying. We'll surely we'll do something stupid. I'm
Yeah.
all my
So
life I'm doing something stupid, but and I learned it like 10 years later. But sometimes sometimes you just can do what you can do.
mm. So what kind of motorcycle do you ride these days? You said you had the 660. Was the old Tenere or
Yeah,
a
all
different
all
one?
Tenere. That was my first bike. Then I changed it for 690 KTM Enduro R, and that's I tried many bikes, but not that have them and that I spent like years on them. So I can't say for sure for other bikes that I just tried. But for me, this 690 Enduro R, this is the best bike. It is old one from 13th,
Yeah.
and I don't want to have ABS and anything on the bike. And that one will be probably with me all my life. I plan to do all like refurbishing of the bike completely. Now I'll fix it just for the season, fix the major things, and I really like it. I have new Husqvarna 450. I like the bike. I bought it because of this. So when I'm doing the scouting, checking the tracks, playing the rally and other events, I'm doing it mostly alone, because either nobody is having a free time or it is just like that. I just had like 2 sunny days, so I'm trying to using it. So I don't want. I found myself in many situations, situations when my 690 is probably a bit too heavy. So if I go down, maybe I can get back, and that is the major reason why I bought 450. 450 I can literally put on my arm and bring it back, especially with a piece of
So
rope. There is no problem at all. I'm honestly, it changed a lot for me since I have 450. I'm much more brave in these situations. I let myself to go you know somewhere when I would never try with 690. So in general, 690 is the best bike for me, but 450 helps a lot for scouting and tracking of the
It's
Dinaric area.
interesting you say that because I had a very similar experience. Myself, I started on the Tenere 700, so big bike over
Yeah,
200 kilos. I traded it for a 701, so like your 690, and I find that to be like the best unicorn, bike for everything.
yeah,
It's just the engine, the rips, and yeah, also ABS off and everything. But in some cases, it's a little bit too heavy, and it's difficult to get up some bits of terrain. So I have a 350 Husqvarna as well, and yeah, this combination, to have a light bike for the hardcore
hmm
exploring or racing, and then the 701 for just trips and actual traveling. I find that to be the best one, and I also have the same idea to keep it going as long as it's possible. So
yeah,
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 I
yeah,
completely understand.
yeah.
Okay,
That's
okay.
sorry. I need to. I have some pop up here. Yeah, but it is a lot of people is actually thinking like this. If you are into the racing, like, and that's what you do, you probably go with 450, especially in our mountains, in this region, you know. But on the end, we are always trying to do everything. So our biggest aim in everything we do is actually to show the mountains, our nature, the Dinarids to the rest of the people, and to promote the region. That not even Croatians are going to anymore.
Mm.
Believe me, at the moment I believe that more foreigners know about these areas than Croatians, and more
It's
foreigners
possible.
went to some of these areas that we literally rediscovered, than Croatians, which is kind of crazy. But now it was quite funny, honestly. So for last year, when I was scouting the Dinaric, obviously the region is not that huge that we can change the routes every year. We must recycle something. I'm trying to do it the way that nobody would notice, but you just must stay in the same area, or even in the same road. And it was completely funny. Like 4 years ago, when we went for the first scouting, it was literally no tracks on the road. We were there, and quite often we were, I would be the one that I was the one that was, guiding by the GPS, and friends were following, and quite often we were following each other by the tracks. And last year, like only 4 years later, it was impossible, because all the trucks were already ridden. People are actually riding in the mountains, in these mountains. Not only these trucks, but even some new. I'm trying to find something new, to check this mountain or that one, and I'm seeing the trucks all around. So I believe that we really made a difference. People really started to coming to the mountains, which is just great, great thing to know. Obviously, if we go back to the environmental problems now, more than ever, we need to set the rules, and we need to show them, because nobody else will do it except for us. And
Mhm.
I believe that we are probably a bit more heard, than I don't know, government or some officials, especially among the riders. So yeah.
Okay, okay. The Dinaric Rally is considered maybe to be the hardest rally physically in Europe.
Is
Is
it
this what you intended? Yeah, that's what I heard from a couple of people say. Are you
okay?
happy with that statement? Is it
Look,
is it going to get even harder,
I'm not
or was it
happy.
maybe?
I'm not happy because we are having some extra problems with this fact, from the very beginning. Because so obviously people would choose, I don't know, Hellas Rally or Bosnian Rally or other, let's say, softer rallies. Just for instance, last year Hellas Rally, that is really, I would say, great organized in every way. I know Meletis, he is doing his way, but he's doing great job. And he Meletis and Hellas, they were like probably biggest uh, like role models for me. And that's what I wanted to do actually, Hellas really. But I needed, I don't know, one hour of thinking to realize we would never do Hellas Rally because the region is completely different.
Mm.
It is, for me, it was showing the Dinaric mountains. If I send you to some road, through the woods, except for safety reasons, because woods in our mountains are full of some trucks, heavy industry, and things like that. Except for safety reasons, I just don't want you to get the feeling that these are those mountains, because they are not. They are hard. They are really, really, rough in every way. And if you go there for mountaineering, you will probably get the same feeling like if you go for the riding. So this is my probably a bit crazy idea and not economically wise, clever enough. But I'm trying to show this aspect of the mountains, and I'm trying to get the people, the riders, to the most beautiful places. And that's why Dinaric is hard. Not because I'm enjoying to, torturing the people. I do enjoy it, but not that much that I would do it just because of it. And in the end, whatever you do, I believe you need to have some signature on it, or whatever is good, and whatever people like and talk about is never easy to get. I would say there are different people, there are different aspects, there are different things, but I do like the idea that people think that the Eric is hard, really. And honestly, even if I would like to make it easier, softer, it would be even more job, it would be even harder, and I don't think that riders would be happy in the end. So I choose to have less riders and wait for more years, to get more riders interested. 200s would be the limit, and we never got to 200s. So far, I rather choose to go that way than to make some easy rally that you can actually ride in any country and you will never see the difference. Whoever
Yeah,
rode,
I think is the combination of having hard terrain and quite long stages. That some people said that one day at Dinaric is harder than 900 kilometers in Saudi. In
yeah,
Dakar.
yeah, I'm sure it
So
is. If you go,
yeah,
so we did the calculation after or third year. Bero, colleague, friend of mine, he did the calculations and he checked the average speed of Dakar stages and average speed of our stages. And it ended, the Dinaric is harder than Dakar Rally.
yeah,
It is okay. Maybe Dakar Rally is 15 days, and they also made it
yeah,
harder and harder. So I'm not sure if now that's the story. But 2 years ago, comparing Dinaric today with pretty hard 5, maybe even 6 days, and Dakar altogether, I believe it isn't. If nothing else, it isn't much easier than Dakar.
mm,
And in the
yeah,
end, I know the people that went for Dakar that they would never finish Dinaric, I'm sure, because especially with
yeah,
those bigger bikes and everything, it asks
yeah.
for for strength, for
Would it
endurance,
make
and everything.
yeah, yeah. Would it make sense to have the area stages a bit shorter to have it easier, or you're happy with it as it is?
So it is again a matter of how to say, of situation as it is. It is a technical issue actually. If we make shorter stages, shorter loop stages, then the area is small, and we don't have desert, and we can't. It, it would be literally riding on the same area all the time. So we must to go far away, to get more interesting or more new terrain than to make small rounds. Asphalt is
Yeah,
not the option
of
at
course.
all, obviously, and also Croatia, we don't have like 3,000, 4,000 high mountains. It is 2,000, let's say, maybe around 2,000 or less are the most of the mountains that we are riding through. So, and they are populated, even the worst like situation is if you have some old village almost empty, but somebody is still living there. So, and you must pass through many of these villages because there's no road any other way. And now you're passing through the villages, we need to limit the speed. Somebody is still living there, and you just can't find enough of tracks, enough of kilometers, one way or another in small areas. So we need to go wider. The marathon stage, for example, I would never do marathon stage in Dinaric because nobody likes it. Honestly, some people maybe do. The atmosphere is nice, and people like to get there and to spend night there. And we always do it a bit, easier so that you know everybody can survive it. And in the end, everybody is happy with that. But ask agencies; they need to move all the operations from Knin to Bosnia, cross the borders twice, and there is always something it can go wrong. But all idea about marathon stage was actually to get more kilometers. This year will change it. This year will not have marathon stage. I have some idea. It would be recycling, and we'll recycle one old track like from first 2 years, which is actually really nice. But it was too near to the populated areas. But I got some idea, so we will not have marathon stage. And believe me, people would love this. But honestly,
Mhm.
this is the limit. We got. I don't know how. Honestly, I don't know how I manage to find this many kilometers on this in this area. But yeah, that's it. So it isn't really the okay. It is. I want it to be hard, like I told you, but not that I couldn't cut like 50 kilometers. It would still be hard enough. More people
Yeah.
would come, but if I do like that, it would start to be a bit boring. But
Okay. Okay. Understand, and it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the setup you had in mind and what actually happened to the race season. You initially planned to have maybe a simpler race in Bosnia, then a kind of medium one in Montenegro, and then the hardest one in Croatia. That didn't came to be, as I understand. Not enough people signed up in advance.
yes,
What are your
so
thoughts on it, and what are you going to do in the future?
we try to be a bit more clever than usually. Usually, okay, when I say we, I'm thinking about all the people that are helping me, but I'm the crazy guy that everybody needs to tolerate. So when I always want from the first day, I always wanted to go Croatia, Bosnia, and Montenegro. But marathon stages and all moving the bivouac and everything, I realized on the way that not even riders or the agencies, especially, nobody likes it. And for us, organizational wise, crossing the borders, and everything, it can be problems out of nothing. Luckily, we didn't have any stupid problems. We have some, but not those stupid that you have that guy that is just out of nothing that he decided to stop the race, and now you are right, but you spend the time on the border, and in the end he is right. We didn't have the problem, but you can expect it. We are preparing for it. We are fixing it in advance and everything. But crossing three borders, it is quite a problem. I forgot what I wanted to say. What was the question?
The plan for the rally rate,
Yeah, yeah,
why it
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
happen, and
So
your
yeah,
plans for the future.
so I realized that three release in three countries is organizational wide much easier thing to do. Only if enough people is coming, because doing it like generic from the beginning, with 40, 50 people, then spending 5 years to get enough people, let's say, to get covered with like economical or cost wise, it is something that we just can do. So our my aim, our deal was, let's we offer to the people right after the less generic, let's we offer them like idea, and let's we see the reaction. We will not invest in marketing. We will not bother people with Facebook and everything. We will just offer it, and we will let it as it. Let's we not spend too much energy and everything into this. And if we see that people are really interested, like we got the impression many people were asking us for something like this for our own series because they liked the generic. They didn't like, some people, actually many people didn't like the Cup, European Cup that we were part of in last 2 years. Didn't like some aspects of it. Idea was good, but some aspects that I want to specify now were not that good. So people were actually asking me, can you do something so that we have three races, that are somehow connected, and that we have some cups so that we are motivated, that we know our plan for next year is three races and so on. And it was literally, okay, let me try. If people are interested, we will do it. And people were interested, but not in many, not that many. We had like around 200 uh, reservations for all three events, but some people, like 60 or 70, maybe even more people, were interested in all three. So altogether, 200, and in the end, it wasn't enough. So it was quite easy. Honestly, I was completely happy with the situation because I knew that we don't have enough people, and I didn't have this frustration of starting something and then looking around and where the people are, which actually happened quite often with the Dinaric. But since we did have some people, and in last 3 or more years, we are having more and more people in the boot camp, and people just love the boot camp. People, believe me, people love boot camp much more than the Dinaric because it is quite released atmosphere,
It's relaxing and like a
relaxing completely.
contemplative.
Everything is friendly. We can actually, what we really like, we can actually have all these beautiful moments, discussing anything with the people, fixing them the bikes. I'm most happy when I'm fixing the bike to somebody, and in generic, I'm some like director of the race in charge of safety also, and I have no time to even meet the people. Believe me, last year was the first year when I had some time to go and to meet the people. It is just crazy. And in the our boot camps, in rally trainings, it is completely different situation. That's the why people like it. So I was happy to change one rally, Bosnian one, for bootcamp. And then there is an idea that I was thinking from the almost first year, and that's the way to make it easier. Probably, probably really good way, and that would be the raid. So many people were asking me, is there something that we can ride the same tracks but less kilometers? And we don't know how to. We don't even know how to put the tent. Up. We would like to stay in hotels, and we don't want to bring the stuff with us and things like that. The luggage. So it's kind of natural and logical choice would be to organize the raid. So instead of one of the release in the series, like as we planned, now we have a raid. We didn't yet or fixed all the hotels and all the places. We do have the map, and now we are actually calling the hotels and fixing everything because in this raid we will fix everything for the people. It would be literally, you know, you just need to,
Like a
to
full
come and
service, yeah,
everything is
all
organized.
inclusive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all inclusive.
Okay.
You need to have some small bag on your bike. You leave us the other all the luggage. We put it in the box. We'll buy all the boxes. We will transfer it with a heavy truck, and it is literally going from one hotel to another, having a lunch, breakfast and dinner in the hotel, lunch on the way, best roads possible, alternatives. If you get tired, you get the exit tracks.
Mhm.
If you have small bike and you are a good rider, you will have like main track, and then you have waypoints. That would be, for example, top of the mountain. It would be the, I don't know, some interesting places, and you will have visually, let's say, you'll probably find the way to get there, or we'll just let you go try to find the way. So, and on the other side, you will have all the tracking devices, everything which is important for the safety, all the communication, everything will be mixture between the rally, where safety is top, best possible, and like release, relaxed riding with good food, good sleep, and lobby stories and things like that.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. Just want to check with you. It's now 11 o'clock. Are we okay to still
Yeah, yeah,
continue
okay,
for a
babe.
little bit?
We have half an hour, whatever.
Oh,
Like,
all right, all right. This rally raid sounds like really something interesting, something amazing. Actually, I'm kind of sad to miss it now, but it is what it is. Maybe in the future. Yeah.
we'll see.
So,
Like, look,
uh,
the idea is to have also 4x4s, which is quite something I would like to have, because just check the streets. There are literally hundreds, thousands of 4x4s, new one, a bit older one, and there are people driving them and they don't have idea, how nice is over there, and they are afraid to go there because they will destroy their expensive car. So my idea is to get more of these people also into the race, to make it
so
like easy for everybody, and to make it interesting for average people, not the racers, not the hard enduro riders, but average people on the one side, and on the other side, if you go there with the 450 and you are into the racing, you'll have quite enough fun, for something like
okay,
that.
okay. And when you say rally raid, does that still mean it's going to be navigated by roadbook or just GPS?
So what we are trying is, whatever we do, we are trying to teach people, how to navigate by the roadbook. So it will always be roadbook something, but GPS is enough. Most people would go only for GPS, but we will find a way to, to force them to use the roadbook. If nothing else, we will
Okay,
organize some games, or maybe some, I don't know, gifts for those that are riding the roadbook. So in general, we want to motivate people to switch to roadbook navigation, because whoever tried, you know, I don't know if anybody actually refused to use the roadbook once when they actually use it for, I don't know, a few days. So we are
yeah.
trying to cheat people, to start using roadbook, literally.
Okay. Did you ever attend any rally yourself? Actually, did you compete?
Not actually, I did, but not for to meant in a way of racing and everything. I never actually competed any really, and my idea is, like I told you, to actually compete really everything. I started this so that we have some really that we can compete.
Yeah.
And one day, maybe when I
Okay.
get old.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Um,
Yeah. 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 Okay. I'm also very interested in what you get out of all this. Other than some money. What's the human value? Why you organize this? What do you get back?
Honestly, I forgot that aspect. I'm not asking myself that much about that. Once, like 4 years, like 5 years ago, it was something else than now. But many things, let's say, starting from the promotion of Croatia, of Bosnia, of Balkans country, of Dinaric countries, Dinaric mountains, which is my. I honestly, I don't know why I'm having this, urge to share the mountains, to share these places with the people, to tell everybody, hey, these are beautiful mountains, come and ride these mountains. But I just have it. I have that. I feel good when I see somebody from, I don't know, Australia or USA or China riding these mountains. The way it's supposed to be. They're supposed to be ridden. Respecting the nature and everything. Another important, really important thing that I learned on the way, and that is with us from the first day of having idea of organizing the rally, is really nature protection, and is that organizing the Dinaric, the rally, we get some credentials, let's say, to give the, I would say, the rules, or to give our. So let's say that we are heard more and better when we say, look, these supposed to be rules when you're riding in the nature. So if we say that something is wrong, people are kind of more respect us if we are organizing the rally than if you are just not a rider. So we get the chance, or the position, to say something and to be heard. And what we see clearly, and believe me, there is not many institutions or governmental bodies or even motorcycle clubs or even association, that is, I wouldn't say that they are aware, about the situation. They are not even aware about the situation that you have more and more enduro, heavy, hard enduro and off-road ADV riders in the mountains. And that's not natural thing they are more and more. And you have more and more angry people that don't like them. And quite soon, I'm sure, we'll have a situation that everything will be forbidden. So it is literally, it sounds like altruistic idea, but it is a pretty selfish idea. I want to save some places for me, myself, that I can go for a ride, If everything would
Yep.
be forbidden, then what should we do? Go to another country that is still not forbidden, like honestly, like Italians or Austrians are doing. They're coming to Croatia and they're riding because they can. Nothing is, or at least not everything is forbidden. But sometimes they also act like, they forgot what happened in their countries, that they are breaking rules and they are doing, stupid things. So we need to somebody needs to set the rules, somebody needs to show the rules, somebody needs to promote the rules to the people. And I believe organizing the Dinaric, we already managed to be those that are heard, if nothing else.
Mm.
And then, you know, from the beginning when we started with idea, okay, let's do something in our mountains. Now we have 50 people somehow included into the organization, volunteers and everything. And those 7 days, those are like really maybe even hardest days in a year, for many of the people. But then all the things that happen, all the stories, all the beautiful things, it is kind of like you don't ask yourself if you would organize next Dinaric Rally. It is something that it just must be. So yeah, my aim is to have 200 riders in the Dinaric. My aim is to get even more. I wouldn't say famous, but I want that Croatians, that Bosnians, that people from the region recognize the rally, Dinaric Rally, like. How we call it, national pride, because we
Mhm.
have different things that are characterized, like, let's say, national pride. For example, if you take VRC Croatia, people from all around Croatia go to see the VRC because they have huge marketing. They have, all the billboards all around the Croatia, and nobody is asking himself if VRC is good for the nature, for the locals. And quite often ended they end into the, someone's, house, even house, with the heavy cars and things like. And nobody thinks anything is wrong there, because they did it. They gave the answers to the people before anybody asked. That's something I want to have. 200 people riders, to make it really big event, and everything sorted out perfectly in a way of permits and everything, and good promotion to the general public, so that we have actually visitors and that we make it really, really, really huge event. And the moment I get there, I'll probably that will be probably the moment when I'll start to look for way out for myself, and I'll try to leave it to somebody else. That's my idea.
Okay.
I don't know when
Okay.
that will happen. Honestly, I would happy it happened, this year. But yeah, that's it. And honestly, like, to answer the question, what is there for myself, I cover my costs, through the that are accumulated through the year. But most of the costs are actually coming from organizing of generic, spending the. I don't even want to say how many fuel I spend, only the fuel organizing the rally. And I'm fine, that's something I do now. Let's say that I don't need to do the designs and everything. I could do only this and I would be fine. I would never get rich, obviously, but I would be fine. And except for that, my life would be much easier and nicer if I would not do this. I would probably have more money if I would go for the. No, I would, if I would organize, if I would be a designer, web designer and something like that. So honestly, it is stupid thing to do, to go for organizing rally and even more events. But I still feel satisfied. Other day, not other day, like years ago, I was speaking with my wife. We had some discussion about everything, and actually, I realized that all my life I'm trying to prove something to myself. Not maybe to the others, even though I also have that urge. But with them, whatever I do, I'm always trying to. And now after successful Dinaric, not even last year, but year before, after that moment, after everything we did, after the after I saw the atmosphere in the bivouac and everything, I realized that I got there. I'm satisfied. If even if we never organize next Dinaric, even if
Yeah.
I for my rest of my life spend doing some boring job, I actually proved myself to myself. So I'm fine.
And
And
you
but
can be proud. Yeah.
I'm kind of proud on what we did, and it is honestly, it is already enough for me in every way. I could leave
Mm.
if, let's say, another huge uh, COVID thing, and you can't organize anything. I would be happy to start for 2 years, or maybe forever. I wouldn't bother, honestly. I wouldn't be too sad because I already did it. But
Mm.
I do have urge to level up everything, to
I
rise up.
think many others would be sad if you stop organizing these events,
I
and
don't
we
know.
look forward to it.
When it will
It's
be 500 people said, then I would leave for sure.
yeah,
At the
yeah,
moment, it
yeah.
isn't. It isn't even 200s at the moment. But I believe this year. I've the statistics, the numbers at this moment, and it is February. I don't know how it will, continue, but at the moment, I'm pretty optimistic about the number of people and everything.
Okay, okay, okay. Last year at the Hellas Rally, there was a lot of water. It was very muddy, and many people drowned their bikes in
Mhm.
one of the or some of the river crossings. And I heard you made an offer to them that if you drown your bike, you can come to Dinaric with a discount. And also some other almost like charity cases where riders were injured. I know a friend of mine broke his back, and you offered that he can attend the event again. uh, what makes you do this, to help people this way, basically at your cost, to bring them in, help them out, encourage them this way?
Speaking of that, Pavel is only the one. There are many people that I gave the discount. So I give the 40% discount because I never read the email. I missed the email, and that guy was ending in spam, and he was quite frustrated, and I realized that, it is in the end our fault. It was last year, so I gave him 40% discount for this year. Now, it isn't because, you know, it isn't because I felt bad. It is because I wanted him to feel good. Honestly, it is the right thing to do. Pavel, for example, is guy that I'm sure, 100% sure that the Dinaric really changed his life. He told me, and even if he didn't, I saw it in his, everything eyes in the beginning. And you know, I knew how much he's into that. I knew how much he wanted to race. I was afraid for him 2 years ago, because I know him good enough that I know that he will go, 100%. And he crashed. I don't know. It was second day or something. Man, everything else but giving him, free entry for next year or helping him any way I could, would be completely wrong. So I don't ask myself things like that. It is just like that. And for the drowning of bikes in Hellas, I actually so it is a strange thing. I got completely different opinions about the same thing. within 2 years. For example, the same people were asking me to add a lot of more roads in the through the woods. It was second year of the generic, and I was like, okay, if so many people is asking for this, I'm doing something completely wrong. It was literally like at least 10 people, and they are more or less the same group. I don't want to mend the group, to mention the group, but and I was like, okay, people obviously like this. I got impression that more people than only 10 of them like this. I changed it to for next year. So next year I was like, it's easier for me. They like it more, so why wouldn't I give them more of woods? In the woods you can do zigzagging and you can get like 200 kilometers only in one area. I gave it to them, and the same people were complaining about too much woods next year. So it is like that. You never know what people would say for something you do. So when I saw that just a side story in Hellas, everybody likes Hellas. Everybody go there. Everybody thinks is they safe. People go there year after years, and nobody would ever say that Meletis is not aware of his tracks, his roads, everything there is well organized. And then they have bad weather, and people were starting to blame Meletis organization and everything for bad weather. You see like you are crossing the rivers one after another, and it is bad weather. And then I need to connect my laptop to the battery, but not now. And then you are drawing your bike after, I don't know, fourth or fifth, or how many rivers you already crossed. You choose to race even though weather is bad, and then you blame the organization because they didn't pick you up the moment you want. You paid, I don't know how many, 1,000 euros for the organization. Believe me, they spend everything the same like we do, even before the race starts. And they have obviously limited number of rescuers, of cars, of everything. You just need to stand there and wait, and that's the only thing you can do as rider. You should actually, after, I don't know, 10 years of riding the Hellas, you could probably, better, you know how it was before. Trust them, and wait there. Do your best, help them. And then people were complaining. Honestly, that was my idea. It was kind of motivation for the people that draw on the bike, and it was on the other way, like, okay, let's distract them, with something. Let's distract them with something, so maybe they will stop bothering, Meletis and others with this. And in the end, I knew that not many people would, it wouldn't be like 2,000 people drawing the bike. It was little trick, let's say. It
Yeah,
give
yeah,
people
a nice
some
gesture.
fun. Yeah, not nice
Yeah.
gesture. It wasn't that I would. So look, I'm not that much nice, that I don't have the urge to be nice, but I don't know. It was the right thing to do at that moment.
So let's go back to your own event. How should a newcomer prepare for the event? What should they expect that will be the facilities on a site, and what can they get done, without their own tools, and so on and so forth. I'm interested in what they should bring and maybe what is not necessary.
Are you asking for the generic rally or
Yes, yes, for your rally, for your event.
so? Obviously, they need to choose from two categories: rally, which is meant for rally professionals like Dakar riders, but also for the enthusiasts and for the people that already did some rally, or maybe for the people that are, let's say, brave enough to try Dinaric, or maybe for the people that Dinaric is their first rally after they did some training, or maybe some light event like Bosnian rally or something. So rally category is reserved for them, and then we have there is our adventure category for people that are not into the racing, for people that are maybe not into the road books, or they don't know how to navigate by the road books good enough. They would like to learn on the way. and also for the people that are maybe rusted a bit because they rode bikes sometimes before. Now they need to get back in shape, or maybe with people that are not skilled enough in general, maybe with people with big bikes, maybe too big to handle off-road. So there is meant for everybody else that is maybe not ready for the real rally. But I must confess that we are trying to find ourselves and to find the best, how to say, shape to shape the best way. But and we are changing something every year because we always get, it is not that many people in there, so we can hear them better. We always get some new informations. For example, last year I was really sad to say that last year I was kind of ignoring of their riders. I did They did have their guide, but they felt, like we are keeping them aside of everybody else, which happened actually because we are trying to make everything safe in the first place. Then we, for the day, we decided to that year decided to let them start later, and we changed something with the tracks and so on and so on. Anyhow, the so we are trying to do everything so that even people that are newcomers that never even tried the rally, that maybe didn't do even the training or anything with the roadbook, they need to feel good, and that's something we are trying to do. It must not be hard enough for them. They don't want to destroy their bike, and we are really trying to keep their uh, like designed so it fits these people good. But we are missing something all the time. So for this year, there would be that's something that I changed last night, by the way. It will be navigated by the roadbook, and we will actually force the roadbook, but not in a bad way. We'll give our best to teach the people to navigate the roadbook on the way. We got in let's say partnership with one agency that is offering actually the application for the roadbook navigation, but much more things, tracking and everything else. And we'll probably offer to their people to rent this application, or maybe we'll include it in the price. I'm not sure. We'll see. But it would be quite affordable to get the application. So you could literally have the roadbook, and if you like scroll with the finger, then you can scroll with the finger. If you decide to go with some controllers, we will add the controllers. If you go with some light controllers, you will get the Bluetooth controllers, which are quite easy to attach to the bike. If you want to go a step further, then you will go with a bit bigger, like normal controllers. Or if you go with a paper, then so we will scale the for their riders. We will make it easiest possible for them to go with the roadbook navigation. And in general, the track will be the same, like relay track, but not completely the same because it will be too much for them, it will be too hard for them. So we will escape some areas that are the hardest one, and we'll probably shorten the tracks every day, a bit. And then if I see that somebody, you know, too good for there, he feels like, and that's something that is happening all the time. We will give him to enter the rally, not for competition. He will change the class. He will get the road books, not GPSs, the road books, and he can continue with the road books, no problem. So they can switch. Also, obviously, rally riders, if they feel it is too much for them, they can switch for there.
Okay.
So we'll because of last year and because of people that felt maybe even disappointed, a bit, we will put much more effort into the dare, into the category, and we will listen more and we will adapt more, and we already prepared everything better for them. So I believe that complete newbies with dare, they'll feel really, really good. And the most important for quite a lot of riders is that it is the same bivouac, it is the same restaurant, it is the same everything, it is everything the same. So they will feel really atmosphere 100% sure. even though they are, let's say, protected somehow, and they are saved from all the nervosis and all the stress of the real competing. But and believe me, so I don't think if anybody finished all the tracks in our Broadway bootcamp, tracks are always the last year's tracks, last year's next tracks that are pre-checked and everything, and nobody is even dreaming about finishing the Dinaric after trying these tracks, and everybody is disappointed. So people are completely disappointed. I'm trying to, make them believe that they can actually, it will happen, and then Dinaric come comes and they finish Dinaric without the problem because the atmosphere of the race and everything is completely different things than so, once when you get into the atmosphere, you are surely riding, much further than your limits, and there is a chance for injury and everything and so on. So there people are completely safe from all this.
Okay.
And for the bivouac, for the restaurant, for everything, like I told you, with the website even and different other things we are preparing, it will be the same bivouac like last year. It would be marathon stage, so it would be the same bivouac for all days. It would be much easier and or I would say more convenient. Uh, at the moment, they are building some facilities there. We started it last year. We had this million stars toilet with, so it was literally toilet without the roof because they never finished it. Now it is finished. They are fixing the things inside, and they are actually preparing the camping ground with it will be probably toilets there and electricity, so it will be quite comfortable. They are building the camping ground also for ADV riders deciding
Yeah.
to be there. So that this bivouac is, for me, is no stress this year. I always have stress for huge stress with bivouac, with preparing bivouac, everything. For this is the first year that I have no stress at all with the bivouac because these people would do everything. And important, really important thing is that from the very first year, I'm promising good food to the people. Best traditional food and cevapcici and whatever people are expecting from Croatian food and Bosnian food and everything. And it is literally every year that we make some stupid mistakes, and it was the same last year. And now again this year, I'm doing my best to finally fix it. So I'm so I would like to promise it again, but nobody is believing me because we always make some stupid thing. But I'm sure that this year we fixed this. So we will have menu, we will prepare it in advance. We will know exactly every year, every day for the evening and for the breakfasts, what would be there for the drinks also and everything. So I believe that this would be the best bivouac so far, and it would be like really comfortable for everybody, which is for the newbies especially, important.
Okay. Okay. So there will be food included, or it's an option that you
No,
can
food.
buy on the
No, no.
spot. How does it
Food.
work?
Last year we offered. It was like easier for us to make it like that, but it would be possible to buy it on the spot for this year. You can actually when we get there, you will have a chance to buy the food package. I will
Uh-huh.
announce everything in advance. You will know how much the food package is, and you will know all the meals for every day, every lunch, every dinner, every breakfast, so you will know what are you buying for, and if that's not your, you will have choices, and if that's not your if it's not good for you, you will do whatever else. You will
Okay.
eat whatever you
Okay.
want. But the restaurant is big, and they can prepare food, a la carte, and yeah. But you will pay to them on the spot, and but you will only register for that, even
Mhm.
though even the registering, it is not much important because they can prepare it a day in advance. So it is literally,
Okay.
you will know what you are getting in advance, and you will buy it there on the spot.
Okay. For those who will be camping in tents, is there any shower facility, or how does
Yeah,
it
we
work?
have. So we built it last year. but it was million stars, sort
Hmm.
of.
No roof.
Our
Yeah.
now we'll have. I'm not sure. I think 8 showers. Yes, eight
Hmm.
showers altogether. So four are like one by one. Each is with the doors and everything. Then we'll have one with the 4 showers for the group showering, whoever likes that.
Ooh, group showering.
And then also, I didn't think four or maybe 6 toilets in that one facility we will start to build. They start to build last year, and then we have those in the hotel, which is I think two more than enough. And if you have 200 people, then probably we'll have some extra those portable or how you call it showers
Yeah.
and the toilet. So it will be since this would be our probably only how to say it, thing to fix, then it will be easy. We don't need to
Okay.
do anything else.
Is there some electricity set up, or
Yes,
people
there's
work? Yeah.
electricity in the camping ground. You just need to have. It is better if you have your cable, 50 meters of cable, because it is always something. You probably not
Yeah.
don't need it, but it is better if
But
you.
you don't need a generator or anything like that.
No, we will have. Look, if you want to decide to be on your own, okay, but no, we even last year we had enough power for everybody. It
Okay.
is quite close to everything, and we have this. I don't know how you call it, but huge cable in the ground already. They will split it to I don't know 2 or 3 power sources. So with the 50 meters of cable, it would be more than enough for anybody.
Okay.
Also, fresh water for campers. You don't need to bring fresh water from I don't know Germany. You can fill it up there in the spot. But we don't have a I don't know how you call it, but place to empty the waste. You know how you call it.
Hmm.
There is no thing like that in the camping ground. So if you want to do that, you need to do it before
Okay.
the
Okay.
the rally. But
How,
all these things will be explained in the website.
how about bike service? I know that the last years people had to go wash their bikes in a canyon. Do you have any plans to maybe set up some, power tools to wash bikes in the camping site, or what's your plan?
Uh, Usually we have like always we have the service agencies, racing agencies that are having their clients, but they also have some extra tires, tools, and everything to fix anybody's else bike if people wants that, except if they are in Malay Moto with their own rules. Because of these agencies, and they are coming and bringing people and also offering the service, we don't want to set up our own service, for fixing the bikes, because it would be kind of stupid thing to do. We want them to do it, but the washing of the bikes, we actually did have the how you call it,
Power
compressor.
washer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Okay.
did have compressor, and I don't know what else there, but it was the only one, and we used it for I don't know honestly, for our cars, whatever. We could actually organize something like that if that would be important for the people. I was not, for example, I never noticed that people are actually going to clean towards the bikes,
Yeah.
because I never washed my
Yeah.
bike. That probably would be the
No, no, no.
reason.
I think it's usual to wash your bike before you service it. So at least my friends who were there, they were going every day to clean and back to wash their
Yeah.
bike before servicing.
Okay. Good idea.
An
We'll set
interesting
it up.
experience I had in Romania, where they had a partner, Kercher, right, the German
Mhm.
manufacturer, basically provided the tools to power wash their bikes and make advertisement this way. So this could be an idea for you.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We'll
Okay.
we'll we'll
I
have.
think it's definitely useful if there is a
Yeah, it
spot.
is for sure. For sure. We have
Okay.
in our really trainings and other trainings. We always have a washer there, and everything. Compressor and everything. But
Okay.
in the really somehow I missed this. But good
Okay.
point. Thank you for the advice.
Yeah. 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 In terms of bike and bike setup, I know people who have gone on big bikes like the Tenere 700 on 690s, and some have gone on the light bikes. What would be your recommendation if you were to attend your own rally? What would you bring and why?
Obviously, if you are in, depending what are you expecting, what's your intention? If you want to race with the best riders, you'll go for 450 because then you'll be in the class. If you want to, I don't know. For me, if I would go for enjoying, I would go with 690 because I know for sure, and I can prove it in a million different ways. That's the best bike for the area because it is light enough for every single meter of track. It has good suspension, especially if you invest some in suspensions and damper and everything. It is on the other side much more comfortable in like long stretches, even though it isn't that big difference between 450 and 690. And if you like to feel the heavier bike, for me somehow I feel better on 690 for the most of the time. You can do everything, and you have also bigger fuel tank. So altogether, if you're not into the racing, the competing, maybe 690. If you don't feel good with it, if it is too heavy, then 450. But in the end, I also like bigger bikes. And if I would go for 1 year, let's say, for fun with a lighter bike, I would surely go with a heavy bike for the next year because you know the feeling. Everybody knows heavier bike gives you completely different, you know, perspective of everything. And many people actually are, through the years are coming with a heavy bike and they are enjoying the heavy bike more than the lighter one. And people sometimes change. People change from small to heavy, and people finish the Dinaric with 1200s BMW, so it is possible.
Mhm.
And
In terms of
sorry, but last year we had Austrian guy, or maybe he's German. I'm not sure. Man, this bike when you see him how he's riding 1200s. If I would see him, on my tracks, I would be frustrated because if he would be alone, I would be like, oh, I missed something. I did something. This is too easy. He was riding these tracks like he actually proved that the Dinaric is perfectly suitable for heavy bikes, and
okay,
that was the best proof I have so far.
okay. In terms of fuel, what are the distances between fuel stops
One
usually? What kind of
150, the worst case scenario, usually less than that because there are many gas stations. Some of them are in the roadbook. Sometimes you pass the gas station in the neutralization, so you can stop and fill the but 150. That's we have fun story. So completely crazy. 3 years in a row we organized generic that I didn't have idea that the gas stations are not working after 1 o'clock. I didn't know it. Luckily, we sent the people there before, so everybody passed. They filled the tanks, and the guys closed the gas station, and nobody noticed, And then last year, no, year before, so 2 years we had a luck. I I swapped the track, I changed the direction, and by the chance we went there and we realized this is not working. So I thought it's some mistake and called them, and they told me we are not working, but also not even these of two of these are not working. So it was literally disaster. So 2 years ago we needed to change the principle, so we needed to bring the fuel to the spot, with the big canisters and everything. So that was completely crazy. But now when I know the fact, so now we will have enough time for everything, and they will wait for us. They will keep it open for us and so on. So
okay.
150, but for the most time, most cases much less. But 150 is good idea because sometimes people we had it we set it to 130, which is quite enough, but then people go back and forth, make few wrong turns, get lost, and they spend 10 more liters or something. And then they started to blame us because it wasn't enough. But so that's the reason why
Okay.
we rise it up for 150.
Okay. In terms of tires and mousses or tubes, what's your recommendation? How many tires to bring, or what's the best kind of tire?
Look,
Soft, hard?
I would only say that I was, because I'm riding alone, checking everything, and I have everything in my car, all the things. So for me, it was logical to have tubes rather than mousses, especially changing them on the terrain and so on and so on. So I was stupid enough to have the inflatable tires for years, and because there are many rocks, I was always having them, pumped really good. So I was destroying my ankles and everything for years. Then I finally decided to change for mousses. And now I will say that anybody riding this terrain on inflatable tires is crazy. Makes no sense. You must have mousses, even though if they last one day, it is still worth it. They will last for maybe even all really long. So 5 6 days, depending on your riding style, obviously. But the comfortability of the mousses in those small but still big enough rocks, and it changed everything. So a bit harder mousses, not too hard, and it really changed really everything. And most of people change at least one set of tires in the Dinaric. Maybe not those guys with big bikes and 50/50 tires, but any softer tires will be shredded, destroyed in after even less, after look for me, even scouting, which is pace that is much slower and everything. After 3 days, tires are destroyed. So you need new one. You can ride, but you don't have a feeling. Mousses, and I would always go with any Nobi tires, softer, cheaper, and change them 3 times. Then trying to find perfect tire that will last 7 days. Forget it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
find the cheapest tires with the Nobis, and they will be perfect. But you need 3 sets of these.
So rather enduro tire with high grip than something more. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
supposed to be, by the book, by the rules, by the law, because we spend sometimes on the roads. These tires supposed to be street legal, and that's what we are asking for from the people. But we are not police, and we don't insist on that. If you have an issue with police, then you are on your own. But not that police knows the reason, and not that they
Yeah.
would ever bother. So I would go. I would, in this specific case, I would always break the law and go with any enduro tires than insisting on street legal. Even though
Okay.
there are many street legal tires that are good enough.
Do the bikes need to have like turn lights and everything, homologated headlights, or how far is it
It is
different?
always the same. It is hard to you know it is hard to keep the side here, to take the side here, because I want everybody's, you know by the book, that everything is by the law. But on the other side, nobody would like to have blinkers and all these things that will fall apart as soon as you fall down first time. So we insist on these things in the technical inspection, and we never bother people after that, because it is the same thing. If you decide to have a problem with the police, when they stop you and they ask you, then take everything off and go. If you would like to do everything by the book, then you'll probably keep everything on by. But honestly, since police and everybody else know that we are there and they know what we are doing, so far, maybe I don't know, but I never heard that anybody has any issues with the police, even on the border, without the blinkers, without everything. So people here are mostly looking quite, welcoming to our riders. So I would suggest take everything off and take a chance. We must, we just must be by the book. So we ask people to have everything on, blinkers and everything. And obviously, if you have rally replica, then it makes no sense. So they supposed to have everything on, or at least prove that they have something there. So that's just for us to be by the. It is stupid thing to do, but
Okay.
we don't have a closed, area. So, and we have our own rules. Our riders are on the streets, spending time on the streets, so they must be street legal before we let them out. And then when they get back with broken bikes without blinkers, it is the same thing like somebody hit you on the road with your Golf 5. What we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we will
Yeah.
not be that strict, obviously, and we understand the reasons, but riders supposed to understand us on the other side. We just can't take the blame, because it would be.
Understand. Understand.
Look, if police or government, then I don't think that will ever be the problem. But let's imagine that somebody decide to make us trouble, and then they start to ask us why do we let people out without the blinkers. Or for example, if somebody had an accident on the road, that could be the reason. Looking from the side of the police, that could be the reason for the accident. Nobody saw them, turning left because they didn't have blinkers. Why they don't have blinkers? Because nobody tell them to have blinkers. They are in the race. And so we just don't need to have these extra problems. But once again,
Okay.
if you as an organizer tell me that I take a risk, I will take the risk and go without the blinkers.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. Understood. What about noise levels? Do you
Yeah, we
measure
are
the
pretty strict with
exhaust?
noise level because that's the first thing that will bother the people in the woods. And honestly, you are not in a Dakar, and not even 1% of people riding the Dinaric would ever feel the difference for real. If they have stock exhaust or another one, all the mappings and everything. Come on, are really that good rider that you feel this? It sounds better, but that's it. So we are pretty strict to you know with sounds level, but not obviously. And we check the sound level, but when we see that somebody is having somebody change the exhaust after the top, then we can also do. We did the control, and we didn't force. We didn't like charge anything, but what we should do it by our rules, and we can do by our rules that people accept. But we just warned the guy, and he changed it back. Yeah, but in general,
Okay.
sound is really stupid thing to have problems with.
Agreed. Agreed. So, how can someone check the noise level of
We
their own
have
bike
the we
before they
have,
come?
how can someone if they are if they
How can I check? How can I check the sound level of
if
my
you
bike?
pass technical check, if you have if your exhaust is licensed, and it is how you call it, uh,
Homologated.
homologated, everything must be fine. That's your best way. But also, we have you can get there, and you can check with our device. We can borrow the device, the
Okay.
device is literally there all day long, so you can go check it, and if something is wrong, you can go fix it. But
Agreed. Okay.
common sense is enough. If the exhaust is too loud, believe me, it isn't. We are always surprised how loud exhausts are still okay. It isn't even about the loudness that you can hear with your ears, let's say, but it is probably some vibrations, or I honestly don't know what. But the device, which is pretty expensive that we have, uh, it always surprises us. Some bikes that I would say are, by the look, I would say that this is not good, and by the sound, they pass. And sometimes I would say like pretty not loud exhausts are failed. So who knows?
Okay. 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 Got it. So I think that's about it.
Okay.
On my questions. I have one more, and that's about your T-shirt, Zagreb Rally.
Yeah,
What is that?
that was intention. That's another of our events. Uh, this is another that came out of questions, a lot of questions. So there are many people that would like to try the rally, but it is too hard, too far, too this and that. And also for me, for training, for testing of the equipment, for the fact that Zagreb has 1 million people and the rest of Croatia 3 millions, so there are many people here. So we try to do something. It was in the beginning. It started last year actually, but original idea is to promote the rally racing and the roadbook and everything. But it ended that many people were interested just to come and to ride, around the Zagreb because it isn't that easy to find 200 kilometers nearby the Zagreb. So it started last year. The response was really, really good. Quite surprisingly, if we let them, we could have like 250 riders at least. So for this year, it will be in April, 6th and 7th of April. So far, Austrians are coming. Some your Czech colleagues are coming, and many Croatians, I believe. But I already started to bother people with my roadbook idea, so we will not let them ride in with the GPS, which was the case last year. It will be the roadbook only. You will have GPS as a support, same like in the generic, but roadbook only. So we'll probably cut the number for, I don't know, 60-70% number of the people, but at least somebody would be there learning the roadbook. And safety wise, that's the only right way. So Zagreb Rally is actually new rally, and my idea is to have, so something is happening in Croatian, how you call it, Motorcycle Federation. We are trying to promote the rally there, and we will most likely, starting from next year, we will have a Croatian Rally Championship because another rally is organizing. While we are speaking, this friend is making roadbooks for checking the roadbooks for another rally in Ogulin, which is one area in Croatia, and it will probably be 2 days of Zagreb Rally, just one weekend. Dinaric Rally, as we know it, and Ogulin Rally, we will see 2 or 3 days, depending. So that we have some two rallies with everything like perfectly organized, but short one, so that many people can actually attend them. It will be a weekend, and then we have Dinaric Rally. So I hope that would be something interesting for Croatians. For us, it is easy to organize it, much easier than Dinaric. For the Ogilvy Rally, I just hope that I will not be the organizer or the director of the race, but I will help whatever I can, and then Dinaric. So that's another reason why we started with Zagreb Rally. Long term, I hope Croatia would get their championship.
Sounds amazing. All right.
That's it.
So how much does a rally like Zagreb cost, and will it be like what's the time plan? Do you arrive on day before, sleep in the hotel? What's your plan?
It was only 40 euros last year, and we spent these 40 euros to buy some trackers, so that we have our own trackers for small events that we don't need to invite the timers and so on. And for this year, taking everything in account, probably included food, two meals and sandwich and one drink, whatever. So we want people to fly and drive would be the probably the best option because it is only 2 days. Nobody wants to come from, I don't know, far away with a bike for 2 days on. So we'll probably include everything, camping ground and everything. And my guess, I need to check. We are still in a we're still checking the prices around 200 euros or something. and that would be the beginning. That would be,
Okay.
you know, to start with something, but something around it. It is literally just to cover the costs.
So 2 riding days, 6th and 7th of April this year.
Yes, and if you, it would be enough if you come early in the morning. It would be enough to start early because we'll start probably around 9 or something. 200
Mhm.
kilometers is quite a lot actually in this area, but not too much. So you will have enough time to do everything. In the evening, I really hope for some interesting guest to come and to have some sort of presentation. I don't want to discover this, but because I don't want to disappoint anybody, but I believe some really interesting guy would be there and to talk about everything. And that would mean a lot for the rally, obviously. And then second day, considering that people will probably leave for their homes, it will be a shorter stage, 100 to 300, 130 kilometers, something like that, 150 maybe. And also, we will not start early enough because we want people to have celebration in the evening. Probably they would like to start to sleep a bit longer. In general, it is still idea to promote the rally more than to race the rally. We'll see.
Okay, understand. All right, Perica, it was wonderful talking to you.
Yeah.
I think we went into a lot of details, and we could still talk more for hours. So maybe we make a part two sometime in the future if it will come to it. And yeah, thanks a lot for coming in. And I will hope to see you either at Zagreb Rally or in Dinaric. And I encourage all the audience to look into events like this. And yeah, see you there. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you for everything. Thanks for being patient with me. I know that I talk a lot. And also, once again, I just must to say that I'm really, really happy that you are doing this. I believe this is really good idea, and I really see a bright future of this podcast of yours.
Well, thanks a lot. I hope I will not disappoint.
Okay, man. Thanks.
Thank you, Perica.
You too.
Talk to you later.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye bye.